only 50% of the current Steam user base are playing games that have came out in 2024, and it's got people concerned that people just aren't buying new games, and that's kind of really the contrary of what's happening, because last year that number was 9% of playtime, and then the year before that in 2022 it was 17%, which was up from this year. So it's kind of going up and down, but that is only the games from 2024. Now, the biggest stat that's being shared by the entire Steam user base is the fact that 47% of players have been playing games that have been coming out from the last 1 to 7 years. So this can be games from 2023 and from 2023 to, my math is fucked, 2017, my bad. And then the second biggest stat is the fact that 37% of players are playing games from 8 or more years ago. And this whole stat sheet, it kind of makes sense to me, because I don't think it has to do with less players, playing games. It really was just one of the fact that more players are projected to be playing more games as years go on. But I think more and more players are just getting more wise to the fact that, playing a game day one is not what it used to be. Now, granted, playing day one hasn't always been like a perfect experience. Like, there's obviously back in the day, if a game was fucked up, you would have to wait a while, depending on what era that we're talking from. If it was like an NES era game, that game was just fucked up. It was part of the game. Then as time went on, you had things like recalls where you could bring the disc and get a new version of the game that isn't broken. Obviously into the era of where we finally got downloadable updates and DLCs to which you could just fix the game from right at the comfort of wherever you're playing it from. And I just think that with that convenience now, games are not afraid to ship just in any shape. Like, we just saw how Stalker 2, that game came out, and in their defense, the game was already being delayed a lot, so they were trying to get the game out there, and they felt like if they didn't get it in the time frame that it did, they would just lose a lot of player faith. But that game was bugged out the waz, and they just released like 2 different patches with over like 100 or 1,000 different bug fixes. It was a lot of shit that they fixed in that game in the first 2 patches in the first month that it came out. So even though playing on day one is obviously not a dead thing, since we see many new releases getting tens of thousands of players on their first day, at least on PC, it's definitely not the recommended thing to do if you value your money and you don't want to play a broken game just in case if the developers decide to ship a half-ass game and hoping to release DLC to fix it. And not even just that, most of the gaming landscape nowadays is live service, in the fact that these games, they attract with their free price and obviously paid for cosmetics and shit, but that whole service is aimed at keeping you for as long as possible, since since the game is subscription based, they want to keep you paying so they get more money as time goes on and have a steady set of revenue. And obviously this 15% reflects the amount of gamers that have been trapped in that genjutsu of playing games from the yesteryears that obviously are getting new content updates but are still live service, so they're just sticking to that one subscription and just going off that. Like, think about the Destiny player base, the Halo Infinite, freaking Fortnite. Like, these communities are really large players, and for some, these are the only games that they play at all, because they're free, and you only have to pay for what you want to look cool in the game. So that obviously makes up these 47 and 37% of gamers. And then lastly, speaking for the PC gaming community specifically, because I'm not into the whole, at least this side on consoles and whatnot, but being on PC, I don't doubt a lot of people are paying for these prices right now when they're just downloading these games through other means. So that kind of also plays a factor into this 15%.